Don't go live yet, Jane.
Don't go. It's too late. We're on.
We're live.
Yeah.
Live and ready to go.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's event. Thank you very, very much for joining us on what is probably either a hot or a very rainy evening for you. So you're joining us this evening for the event Social Security for All, Agreeing a Way Forward, a launch of a consultation proposals for a better benefit system by the Commission for Social Security. My name's Kate Summers. I'm part of the Secretariat to the Commission, which means I support the work of the Commission, and I'll just be facilitating some of this evening. So to kick things off, we're going to begin with some poetry before moving on to sharing the work of the Commission and the proposals that commissioners have come up with. First is going to be Paula Peters performing her poem Cracks in the System. Paula is from Disabled People Against Cuts, Bromley and Croydon Unite Community and Mental Health Resistance Network. Following Paula, we'll have Debbie McNamara, who will perform Was She Pushed? And Debbie is from Survivors Poetry and Mental Health Resistance Network. Thank you very much, Paula. When you're ready, please do begin.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you to the Commission for having me perform to you all this evening. This piece that I wrote was from 2017, and it was in response to benefit sanctions. And it was performed in Parliament in front of MPs as part of Unite Community's Day of Action Against Benefit Sanctions. And I think the title really sums up what's happening to people who have been sanctioned. They've fallen between the cracks of the welfare state. So this is called Cracks in the System. No food in the fridge, no food at home. Benefits stopped, I'm all alone. Support services stopped, nowhere to go. Scared shitless, I feel so low. Water cut off, electricity too. Have no toilet paper for the loo. Can't have a bath, I'm starting to stink. I am so hungry, I cannot think. I end up in crisis, I sit and I cry. I can't take any more, I just want to die. End up in A&E, blood on the floor. I can't take the stress, I can't take any more. I can't fight the system, I'm exhausted, in pain. Keep getting sanctioned again and again. Cold and hungry, cannot speak out. I am so ashamed of this mess, don't want to say nout. I huddle in the chair with tears in my eyes. The doctor gets angry and sits there and sighs. We want to help you, but you must talk to us. I have been fouled by this system. There is no one to trust. I'm handed some tissues and taken aside. I feel so embarrassed. I want to disappear and hide. He gets a nurse and tells them to get some tea. She comes back soon after and hands a cup to me. I break down sobbing, said, not eaten for days. The damn DWP have taken my benefits away. The doctor gets angry and thumps the desk. Shouts out, I'm so sick of these disability tests. He writes a referral for the food bank. I have no energy. Sit there, look blank. Feel too ashamed to walk through those doors. I just don't want to go through this no more. But kindness comes to me in all sorts of ways. It helped me get through some very dark days. Friends heard what had happened and rallied around. I got some benefits advice and it was sound. I went to the food bank and walked through those doors. Sobbing, was so hungry I grabbed the first thing I saw. Sobbing, I ate those sausages raw. But I finally went to appeal and got my benefits restored. Thank you very much, and over to Debbie, I guess.
Thank you, Paula. That was fantastic. Hi, everybody. I'd just like to say thank you for the opportunity to comment in poetry at tonight's launch event, and to point out that although I write my poems from the point of view of a mental health service user and survivor, disabled people and those who identify as mental health service users or both stand together as brothers and sisters. My first poem for you is Was She Pushed? It goes like this. Yep, got another benefits form in the post. Start to spiral, feeling lost. So many intrusive questions, raking up the past. Been dreading this for 6 months. Translate your existence into clinical language. Pride goes in the dustbin. Dignity is a privilege not afforded to us. In the day-to-day, I try to cope, but seeing it all written down signals the death of hope. How many years since I functioned at all, since I crashed into the wonder wall? I tell myself daily that tomorrow's another day, but when I read through my notes, it looks like I got worse. Every detail of my dysfunction clearly spelled out. When did it all start? Being raped, not my fault. Acute psychogenic psychosis, heart and mind in revolt. Just a teenager. The grief I carry has never abated. Feels like those ghouls are basking in my pain. Their sadistic pleasure is underrated. Tell us about washing now you're obese. Standing, sitting, toileting, every tablet you take, again and again and again. Fresh evidence required each time. Write a thesis on how your life fucked up. We'll add it to the pile of your previous forms, all stating the same, like a twisted prenup. Make each award for 5 years at least. Chronic and deteriorating, severe and enduring. Don't you know what that means? You're not going to find me at an aerobics class on my day off or playing football in the park. So why the persecution? I have become my own prof. So I had another relapse as a result of all this. Increase your medication, further decreased motivation, cling on to any vestige of normality, sort yourself out in isolation. The emergency clinic is in a state of emergency. Come in daily to see someone for 5 minutes who I've never met before. We're really stretched. It's a busy time. Just take this prescription. Come back tomorrow. Who's next in line? I spiral into psychosis. The nightmare waking dream. Got to do this evil form. Can barely think. Need a friend. So this is my new norm. Extension after extension, then a 3-month COVID reprieve. Now another deadline. They're feeding off my panic. Got a vendetta against us. This is modern eugenics in the middle of a global pandemic. Threaten to put you in starvation. Capitalize on your deprivation. If you feel like jumping, you'll get a state-sponsored push. Fit to work? Don't make me laugh. When was the last time I made it to the cafe for a chat and a cuppa? Trapped at home in bed in permanent quarantine. Shadows of the past, sick to my spleen. It's no use because it's us and them. Has anyone ever felt self-destructive? Here's the very means. Analyse your weaknesses over the past 30 years that led to hospitalisation on a section over and over again. Psychosis, schizo attack, mania, depression, not just words on a page. A diagnosis is not just for Christmas, whenever that was. The velvet fist in the iron glove is the threat of destitution. The constant psychological war just adds to my condition. Take my infirmity, judge my affliction, how much it's worth in pennies and pounds. Long-term psychiatric medication, loss of cognitive function, the backdrop of screens and suffering sounds. And if we keep on harassing, maybe we'll hit the jackpot and this one will jump off a cliff if we just send one more form. Primary care, is anybody there? Don't make me laugh. The community team is in crisis. No face-to-face appointments because of COVID, no support available for months. So just keep us begging, drowning in our grief. Erect a statue with a victory wreath to every cheating charlatan DWP tea leaf. Put it on our early graves. Say Atos did well. They ground them into dust, slowly and with stealth. They tick the box marked deceased, add up the dull money saved, hold a Zoom webinar on how to get away with it, increase their expense accounts, polish the next bullet, wear Tommy Hilfiger, vote Tommy Robinson, stand for mayor, breathe the dead opponent's air, go on holiday and shoot an elephant. Because no one will notice, it won't hit the news. Their snarling smiles broaden. She just had a short fuse. Oh, if you feel like jumping, you'll get a state-sponsored push. Come on now, focus. Question 1. How do I describe brain mush? Quickly, the clock is ticking. 72 hours till the deadline. Live like this, like an obsession of terror and degradation, of panic and psychotic ideation, of a tunnel with an advancing locomotive, of what's the point of all creation, what's the meaning of nihilism? So darned low there is no ism. Are we having fun? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Debbie. I'll now hand over to Ellen Morrison to introduce this evening properly.
Great, thanks very much, Kate. So hi, I'm Ellen Morrison. I'm a disabled activist and very proud to have been a commissioner since our project first started. I'm an expert by experience. I rely on benefits to get by. Until recently, that was employment support allowance, and I'm currently on PIP, personal independence payment. So the first thing to say tonight is a very big welcome to everyone watching, whether it's your first involvement with the Commission on Social Security or whether you've been with us since the start with last year's Call for Solutions or the workshops that were held around the UK, and of course our drama events as well. A big welcome to all the experts by experience who have joined, so all the people with lived experience of the benefits system. We know participants signed up to watch tonight from Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and from the southwest to the northeast of England. And welcome to everyone who's joining from user-led and claimant grassroots and community groups, advice workers, trade unions, and people who work in policy and academia as well. We had over 400 people register their interest in tonight's event. Hopefully the heat hasn't got too many of you and you'll be able to join us. I can't promise I won't be a melted puddle by the end though. In terms of key things that we want you to take away from tonight. Firstly, please look at the consultation form where you can have your say about what you think about the Commission's ideas for a better benefits system. And that's where we'd love for you to add your thoughts as well. And you can get to this by going to our website, www.commissiononsocialsecurity.org, and you'll see the link there. The second takeaway is that this event gives a general overview, but we'd love to do some smaller group discussions online. So if you're interested in that as either an individual or you would like something for your groups, then please let us know, which you can do by going to our website again, commissiononsocialsecurity.org, and you'll see the contact us link there. So how tonight will run. We have BSL interpretation and live captions throughout. A big thank you to our BSL interpreters, Nikki and Sam, and our Palin typists, Norma and Julia, who'll be doing the live captions. I appreciate it's very hot to be working in this weather, so thank you. The format for the event tonight is, firstly, we'll explain a bit more about the Commission and the journey to this evening's event. Then we'll have some commissioners explain about the proposals. Then we'll do a run through of the consultation form so you can see what it's like. We'll then have a 10-minute access break. In the second half of tonight's event, we'll have some reflections from our guests. Manny Hoti from Trust for London, Charlene from Toynbee Hall, Mark Harrison from Deepak Norfolk, and Tracy Harrington from Thrive Teesside. Then we'll have a Q&A with some commissioners, and we'll end with 2 more poems from the brilliant Debbie and Paula. So whichever platform you're watching us on tonight, the live stream will be available after the event, So if you can only join us for some of the event, you'll be able to catch up on anything you missed afterwards. Although for our Q&A, we will be taking questions from the comments section of each live stream. And just a gentle reminder to everyone to keep the comments section as friendly as possible. We definitely want to hear your thoughts and questions, but let's ensure we keep it inclusive and respectful. And finally, before I hand over, I just want to give a big thanks to Trust for London, who fund the commission and without who none of this would be happening. And thanks also to the London School of Economics and University of Warwick, who are providing support for this event and the consultation process. So first, we'll hear a bit more about the commission from Catherine Hale. Thank you.
Hi, I hope you can all see me okay. I'm Catherine Hale and I'm a commissioner. And so the Commission on Social Security is a project to set up to find out how to make the welfare benefit system work better. And just to clarify, we're talking about working age benefits here, not pensions. The project is led by experts by experience, and this means that all commissioners have lived experience of the benefit system. The current benefit system has come under sustained criticism, and on many levels it's failed to deliver social security in the broad sense of the term. We believe a big reason for this is that the system was designed by policymakers and politicians who are far too removed from our lives and have no understanding of our realities. They've too often been guided by stereotypes and myths about disabled people and people in poverty, and their policies as a result have too often caused harm, as we've heard in the opening poems. It's time that we spoke up and designed our own solutions. The commissioners on the project come from a range of user-led and claimant groups and deaf and disabled people's organisations. The Commission has a support team. You've already met Kate, and the other members are Rosa Morris, who's an independent researcher and expert on disability benefits, and Michael Orton from Warwick University, who is Secretary to the Commission. Last year, we issued a call for solutions among all our networks and members to reach as many people as possible with lived experience to share their ideas. And if you're among one of the people that responded, thank you so much for doing that. And it's good to see you here today. That call for solutions asked people to make suggestions for a better welfare benefit system. There were over 1,000 responses. We looked at all the suggestions that were made, and we've now identified ideas for making the system better. The ideas are grouped into 8 themes. The Commission is based on building consensus because big changes need lots of people to be saying the same thing. Building consensus requires compromise. So this is how we've worked together as commissioners to reach agreements on the proposals that we're putting here before you. So starting with this event, the Commission is putting ideas out there, and we want to hear from you what you think about them. Before we talk about the ideas, a critical point to make is about equality. So I'm going to hand over to another Commissioner, Latoya, to make that point. Thank you. I'm not sure if we have Latoya here with us. Sorry for the pause there. I don't know if one of the organisers wants to hand over. I'm not sure if we have Latoya who's able to make her video work.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I think we might be having some technical difficulties getting Latoya on screen at the moment. Latoya, if you want just one more shot at turning your video on. Okay. Hopefully Latoya can join us for the second half of the meeting, which she's going to lead. But in the interim, I will just very quickly go through some of the points on equality that Latoya was going to touch on. So equality is very important to the Commission's work. Some people are treated unfairly by the current benefit system. Women have been unfairly affected by cuts to social security because of lower incomes and caring responsibilities. Ethnic minority groups suffer discrimination and inequality. Some groups are more likely to be on low incomes, so can be unfairly affected by changes to the system as well. Disabled people and those with long-term health issues have been badly affected by recent changes. The deaf community should be recognised as its own group. There needs to be more awareness of different types of impairments. Carers save society billions of pounds a year, while many struggle financially. The Commission also wanted to highlight other groups who can face unfair treatment in the social security system and may need specific support. These include members of the LGBTQ+ community, gypsies and travellers, and prisoners and their families. The Commission has worked hard to include people and put accessibility at the heart of the project. Commissioners insist that it's vital for creating a social security system for all. Equalities is the key when looking at the proposals we are making. I definitely wouldn't have said that as well as Latoya, but now I'll just pass back to Kate. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ellen. So we're now going to hear from some other commissioners who are going to introduce some of the key proposals that the Commission has come up with and that the commissioners would love to hear your thoughts and feedback on. We're doing that in the form of a video that I'm going to play for you. So firstly, just to say, I'm afraid because of Zoom's technical capabilities, we can't have the BSL interpreter alongside the shared screen. So I'm sorry to any BSL signers who are joining us. Please use the closed captions at the bottom of the video, and then we'll have the BSL interpreters back when we stop sharing the screen. Just also to say that we've only got a few commissioners introducing some of the key proposals that they've come up with. Some commissioners remain anonymous throughout the process rather than wanting to be identified. Let me share this video with you now.
My name is Ellen Clifford. I am very proud to be co-chair of the Commission on Social Security. I have been working in the disability sector for the past 20 plus years. I am a mental health service user and also a benefit claimant myself. I'm now going to go through the 5 principles on which the ideas for a better benefit system that the Commission has developed are based. The Commission has identified 5 principles. The principles received overwhelming support in the Commission's call for solutions. The 5 principles are: make sure everyone has enough money to live and support extra costs, for example, to do with disability and children. 2, treat everyone with dignity, respect and trust, and the belief that people should be able to choose for themselves. 3, be a public service with rights and entitlements. 4, be clear, user-friendly and accessible to all, involving people who have actual experience of the issues from all impairment groups in creating and running the system as a whole. 5, include access to free advice and support. Make sure people can access support to speak up, be heard or make a complaint. The 8 ideas that the Commission has identified are to make the 5 principles happen.
My name is Nigel. I'm one of the commissioners on the Commission on Social Security. I represent Waltham Forest Stand Up for Your Rights on the Commission. And last year we launched a consultation to get people's views on the condition of the benefit system as it is at the moment and to see what we can do to improve it. One of the things that our group is against has always been the one on sanctions. For instance, if you fail to do what the job centre staff consider to be enough job search, you can get sanctions. If at work there's something you don't do or you get wrong, your employer doesn't come along to you and turn around and say to you, well, we're docking a certain amount of money this week, or we're stopping your money for a certain amount of time, which is what DWP do when you get sanctions. And obviously we totally disagree with that, because it leads to quite a large number of problems, such as the parent not being able to buy food for the children. So we say no sanctions. Some of the other things on the green paper are a no benefit cap, also no two-child limit. We want to get rid of the bedroom tax, and also we want no conditions to receiving benefit, i.e. going back to work, on your job search, or any other DWP schemes. So if you would like to be more involved, go to our website and have your say on the proposals.
My name's Osmond, and I'm a commissioner by experience for the Social Security Commission. I've been a long-time recipient of benefits. I'd like to raise a few important points. One, regarding bedroom tax. That should have been outlawed a long time ago, and I think it's draconian, and it should be consigned to the dustbin of history. Two, make payments based on individuals, not households. Another point, increase the benefits each year. There's been a lot of lip service, especially during the 2020 period, as regards increasing these benefits. Well, I think something should be applied now. And apply the benefits equally from 18 up to pension age. I'd like to refer you to our website where you can see our proposals, and thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Sarifa Patel. I'm one of the commissioners for Social Security Commission. I am a Asian disabled woman from the BME background, and I myself have had it really, institutional racism has been really bad for me, as I couldn't get the universal credit, as I had to take my husband there and he couldn't come and it didn't work for me. Access to work doesn't work for me as a double carer because I have to earn £6,000. There's a cap and I just can't do that. So again, it doesn't work for me. These are the barriers as a BME person that I'm facing. BME persons, black and ethnic minority, have institutional racism as well as all the other benefit caps that we have to face as disabled people. I'm going to talk about the child benefit and how important that is to me as a mother and a grandparent, as I know that we have to have a realistic amount for each of our children, and we are trying to raise it to £50. At the moment, it's £20 for the first child, £13 something for the second child, but we'd like it to be equal for all children and to be £50. I hope you agree with us. Please let us know your views. I'll look on our website. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Catherine Hale and I'm one of the commissioners. I founded the Chronic Illness Inclusion Project, and I also have experience of claiming disability benefits going back more than 20 years. I'd like to tell you about the section in our proposals that talks about disability benefits. We propose to replace personal independence payments with a new personalised payment to cover the extra costs of disability. It would be co-produced by people with lived experience of impairment or health condition. The assessments would be in line with the social model of disability, recognising that the people claiming the benefit are the experts on how their impairment or health condition affects them. In terms of payments, we propose that people's savings should be ignored when working out their level of disability benefit. And we propose that disability benefits should be dealt with by a new government department, completely separate from the Department for Helping People into Work. When it comes to social care, we propose this should be free and it should not be paid for out of an individual's disability benefit. The rate of the benefit should be much higher than it is at present and more realistic of the extra costs people face. Under these proposals, disabled people still qualify for the other ideas in this form, for example, the guaranteed decent income. Support and advice would be available from local services to guide people through the process. This would be funded but independent from government. As a commission, we really want to know if people agree with our proposal so that further work can be done. So I encourage you to visit the Commission's website and tell us what you think. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Mike. I volunteer at a benefit support group in the Southwark area of South London, and as part of that I've been nominated to be one of the commissioners on the Commission for Social Security, which is a project that started last year looking at ways of improving the operation and provision that a social security system can provide. There's going to be a consultation on some of the proposals that have come up as part of the first phase. The thing that we're aiming at the moment is that we're looking for a guaranteed decent income. Basically, we've taken the figures from Joseph Rowntree Foundation as a starting point to provide a realistic, dignified standard of living in the current situation. That would be sort of £222 per person based on a single person, £322 based on a couple. And those figures would be a starting point. There'd be additional sums based on sort of health needs, disability, family circumstances, things like that. If you need any further details, there's lots of stuff on the website. So we're into the stage now where we're having the second consultation. Feel free to answer any of the questions on that form. If there's anything you're specifically interested in, there's opportunity to raise points that you might think that we've missed or we're not concentrating on enough. And hopefully we get a piece of work out of this that's suitable for everybody and makes everybody's life that little bit better.
Hi, my name is Barry and I'm one of the commissioners. One of the big questions is how things are going to be paid for. Me and the other commissioners say that the government has a lot of power when it comes to money and choice. Things like the ability to make or borrow more money, the option to set higher tax for rich people or businesses. Please go to our website and say what you think about our proposals. And thanks.
And now the commissioners have given you an overview of their proposals that they would like to hear feedback on. I'm now just going to briefly show you what that online form looks like that they're asking you to fill in as much or as little as you would like to share your views on what they're proposing. So also just to show you very briefly that the Commission website that Ellen has already been directing you to as well, commissiononsocialsecurity.org, is where you can find out more information about the Commission. Everyone who's attending tonight's event will be sent a link to this online form after the event. And this is where the commissioners have put together more detailed explanation of their proposals and where basically they would love for you to fill in and give your feedback on those proposals. I'm just going to show you it very quickly, but I think also just to highlight for those attending that the form is all designed in easy read, as you can see. And there's also, there are BSL interpreter videos embedded into the form as well. And I think that sort of highlights how the commissioners have put accessibility and inclusivity at the heart of what they do and how they work. So you'll see on this first page, the commission is just, the form is just explaining what the commission is about. And basically for the whole of the form, what we invite you to do for, like I said, as much or as little as you would like, is both on each of the proposal points to basically tell us to what extent you agree with that proposal. But then also we'd love to hear sort of longer responses. And so there are boxes on each page around each of the areas of proposals where we invite you to kind of give longer answers if there are things that you think the commissioners should take into account, things they should be thinking about to help develop these proposals further. So just quickly, I'm going to show you that the commissioners would love to hear your thoughts on their 5 principles that they think should underpin the social security system in its reformed form. The commissioners then have outlined some important points of some key changes they would like to see in terms of things they would like to see stopped and started in the social security system. And I realise I'm not stopping and explaining each one, but I just want to give you an impression of what's being covered in the commission's Commissioners' proposals and what they are inviting your feedback on. The Commissioners would then like you to give your views on their proposal for child benefit, and also to highlight that on lots of the pages of the form, there is further explanatory notes to show you kind of the ideas or sort of the information that Commissioners have based their proposals on to explain where they're coming from. There's then a page on Commissioners' proposals for disability benefits. This is one area that Commissioners are really proposing a very sort of large-scale reform that would move us away from the current model quite significantly. And again, they'd love to hear your thoughts. The next page outlines the guaranteed decent income proposal that Commissioners have come up with. Again, this is a cornerstone to what the Commissioners are proposing and would mark a significant departure from the current system that we have here in the UK for social security. Again, you can see we've got the explanatory notes there talking through how kind of the ideas underpinning the guaranteed income proposal that Commissioners have come up with. Then have a carers allowance and Commissioners' thoughts on that. We then have a page where we talk about refugees, asylum seekers and other migrants and specific proposals for people that fall under those groups. We then have a page talking about how this should be paid for or how the government should think about paying for this. As we know, that's a question that often comes up when changes are being proposed. And then coming to the end now, Commissioners have also got some proposals that link out to other areas that aren't kind of directly under the social security system, but that are relevant for sort of the structure that their kind of set of proposals for the social security system would fit within. So again, they'd love to hear your thoughts on those. And finally, the form ends with inviting any other comments. So please do take as much or as little time as you have, and please do give us as much or as little information as you feel able to give. The Commissioners will be taking this on board and using it to further refine their proposals and refine their work before moving to the final stage of having this finalised set of proposals. So having shown you the online form, which is going to be sent to you after the event, that we really invite you and encourage you to fill in and share your thoughts. We're now going to have a 10-minute access break. So please do rejoin us. We'll be starting again at 7:45 for the second half of the evening. Thanks very much for being here with us so far.
I think we might possibly extend that to 10 to 8, if that's okay with everyone.
Perfect, thanks, Emma. See everyone at 10 to. Thanks.
Testing sound, testing sound. Hi everyone, welcome back. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we'll be joined by Commissioner Latoya after all. So I will go to our speakers that we're going to have. Sorry, heat's getting to me. We're going to have two videos first. Charlene from Toynbee Hall, and we're going to hear from Manny Hoti from Trust for London. So we'll go to that now. Thank you.
My name is Charlene, Head of Research at Toynbee Hall. Toynbee Hall is a charity in East London. For over 130 years, we work with communities by providing free advice and community support and gathering community insight to influence social policy. Currently, we are working with over 50 experts by experience to address social policy issues such as community safety, private renting, and poverty premium. In 2019, it was our honor to invite the Commission on Social Security to speak at the event at Toynbee Hall. 3 commissioners spoke about their work and principle of co-production. It was truly amazing. They're all experts by experience, and they come from different backgrounds. The way to create a fair and inclusive space is really powerful. Practical things such as using easy reads and sign languages, the commissioners make sure that this work is inclusive for everyone. We have learned so much from their work and commitment. We are big fans of the Commission. I'm really pleased to know that the public consultation on the proposal, and we are looking forward to learning more about the results. So to support this work, we will be working with the Commission to engage with minority ethnic groups in East London to ensure that people from various backgrounds can take part. The Commissioner on Social Security covers the much needed discussion in welfare benefit areas such as universal decent income, universal credits, no recourse to public funds. We all want the government to make sure the welfare benefit system is better. So I really encourage you all to take part.
Hi there, my name is Manny and I'm Director of Policy at Trust for London, and we're really proud to support the Commission on Social Security, which is led by experts by experience. At the Trust, we know, some of us firsthand, that our social safety net is crucial to keeping us afloat during difficult times. But we also know that our current system is not really designed around the needs of those who use it. The last few months have shown the true purpose of our social safety net. It maintains our stability and prevents us from falling into destitution during times of hardship. Importantly, we've also seen that the help we can provide people during the crisis can be much more flexible and generous if we choose it to be. Now, there are already areas of public policy where the government might call upon people with lived experience to help, from so-called business gurus who may conduct reviews on aspects of the economy, to victims of violence or criminal injustice who advise the government on how the system can be improved. The same approach hasn't really been taken to Social Security, perhaps due to the fear that if you ask the people directly, they will make unreasonable requests. Well, the unprecedented work undertaken by the commissioners, which rests upon the efforts of hundreds of others who've submitted evidence to them, shows that this is not the case. The proposals they've agreed upon are all plausible and they stack up. It's now time that the views of those who use our system of social security are taken seriously enough to shape its future. We encourage you to engage with their recommendations by responding to this consultation. Your help will ensure that the white paper they produce is informed by the widest possible range of views and has the best possible chance of changing our social security system for the better.
Great, and that was great to hear those videos from Charlene and Manny Hoti. Now we'll be going to Mark Harrison from Deepak Norfolk. Hi, Mark.
Hi everybody. I really welcome this opportunity because it's really important that the principles of social action, of co-production, are very rarely put into practice. But the Commission, who have given the opportunity for people who use the benefit system to critique it and to design a new way of supporting people, is really important. And it's not just important for this exercise, but way beyond that. And it shows public bodies a new way of working and demonstrates in practice how to do it. I also welcome it because it breaks out of the reactive fighting that we have to do on a daily basis against universal credit, against sanctions, against oppressive assessment systems and mandatory reconsiderations. And while it's important that we fight those and challenge at every step, like Norfolk DPAC has been doing and Norfolk Against Universal Credit, and we're proud to have had virtually 10 years of challenging Atos, DWP, Maximus, Capita. It's really refreshing to get to the point where we can actually take our experience and say, what's happening now is unacceptable, and this is a better way of doing it. This is a different way of doing it. I'd just like to speak about Norfolk Against Universal Credit, which came out of DPAC Norfolk's fights over the last 10 years. And we joined together with members of Unite Community, of different political parties, of activists who were fed up with the system. And we set up a local campaign in Norfolk to fight universal credit. And that's now gone national. And the Scrap Universal Credit Alliance, SUCA, we have a website and a social media presence, is encouraging groups around the country to set up local groups, not just to fight the system, but also to take part in events like this and really, really press forward with these ideas. We organised an event for the Commission in Norfolk last year. Seems a long time ago now, and over 20 people came together in Norwich City Council offices to discuss their lived experience and their criticism of the system. And they came up with a whole load of principles and practical ideas for change. And that was brilliant. And the priorities were to get rid of the current system that's based and still has its roots in the poor law and the principles that underpin that system. You know, the notions about the deserving and undeserving poor. And the priorities for the group were, you know, as we've already heard, getting rid of sanctions and getting rid of conditionality, the really important things. And particularly, I mean, that predated COVID, but what we've seen now, of course, through COVID is with the onset of mass unemployment, and we're only just at the beginning of that, that we have to get rid of that notion of conditionality. So everybody agreed that we needed to stop and scrap universal credit. And we need a system that puts people's basic needs first: housing, food, heating, etc. Those are the priorities that people had. And we live in a society that should put those first as well. So we need to use society's resources to create a supportive environment for people who can't work or can't get a job, and not create, have a system that is based on stigma and labeling. And we need to get rid of that poor law notions, that are rooted in Dickens and Oliver and all of those, and have a society that's rooted in the 21st century, where needs are put before private profit. And one way of delivering this is to make all reforms universal. And I really welcome the Commission's recommendations around universality and to get rid of means testing. So I'm going to encourage everybody in Norfolk and Suffolk and East Anglia to take part in the consultation and go back online and make their contributions so that we can complete this process. And therefore it will be there for politicians and policymakers to use as a real evidence base of what users of the social security system need from that system. Thank you.
Great, thanks very much for that, Mark. And now I'm delighted to introduce Tracy Harrington from Thrive Quayside.
Hello, my name's Tracy Harrington. I work for Thrive, and I just want to thank you now for having this opportunity to speak tonight. The charity I work for, Thrive, is based in Teesside. We're actually located in a little town called Stockton-on-Tees. We're a grassroots organisation, and we work both on a local level and a national level. On a local level, most of my time is spent at PIP appeals. It's spent asserting the rights of claimants with job centre and work coach advisors. It's spent time funding, food bank referrals, getting, money so people can put the gas and the electric on. And that's not what I'm funded to do, but unfortunately, that's what I have to do on a daily basis, and I don't really want to be doing that, but it needs must. So what we do is we work on a national level as well. We work with the Apple Collective, which is Addressing Poverty with Lived Experience, and Poverty to Solutions. We're led by lived experience. We're led by people who have lived experience of poverty, of socioeconomic disadvantage, and live in low-income communities. Our community is very diverse, as in we've got a number of people, quite a large number of people who assert their rights, who use their skills, expertise, knowledge, insight within the communities and fight to make sure that they have the voice of lived experience at the heart of policy making. But then we also work with a number of people who feel left behind, feel frustrated, are struggling on a daily basis and don't know where to go to get the help and don't understand how they can change a system. So we welcome the Commission for Social Security. We welcomed the ability to participate and facilitate a number of workshops in order to give these people, I don't mean to say these, give people the opportunity to have a voice, to be able to say that the current system is not working. We've listened to a lot of people already today. Now, whether you live in Hartlepool, Stockton, Teesside, Newcastle, Manchester, Liverpool, Rowley Regis, to name just a few, the themes that are coming out are consistent all over the country, and I'm guessing all over the UK. So this is nothing new. The current social security system is failing. It's failing our low-income communities, and it's not allowing them to realise their potential or address the issues that are currently in the communities of the day. So we said, yes, we'll facilitate a number of workshops. We'll bring people who normally don't have an opportunity to have their voice heard and offer their insight, their knowledge and their expertise in order to affect some change. So when we had our workshops, a lot of the things came up again, like mentioned in the previous talk, was universal credit. It's been a blight on people who've had to move from job seekers allowance over to universal credit. It's proved difficult to maintain a claim. And as with the piece of work that we're doing with the Apple Collective, the digital divide has shown that people who don't have internet access at home are unable to continue and maintain their claim and commitment. That's one thing that's been a problem. 0 hours contracts, the fact that some money is taken off you when you're working so many hours, that was a particular problem. Social security benefits have been inadequate, so people are not even being able to afford their priority bills. That's just to name a few. I could go on and on all night, but it's nothing new. What I'm telling you today is what people are already experiencing in every other community. So we are prepared then to take the work forward, and we believe that it's only when you have people with lived experience of poverty contribute and participating meaningfully in debates, it's only then will you design and implement policies that are able to address the issues in our communities. And not only that, it also enables people to realise their potential. Some people just need a little bit of support or the ability to do something in order then to progress and then manage their own lives in a better way. But then some people just need a bit more support. For us, a big thing as well is child benefit. We're asking for the government to increase child benefit to £50 per child per week. And we feel that's important because that's a benefit, that's an entitlement that cannot be, it's not under any conditions. It will not be taken away from you. And what will happen with that as well is it will allow people to afford some more things to enable their child to realise their own potential. It will not eradicate child poverty, so don't think that for 1 minute, which I know you don't. I'm just waffling, sorry. I waffle when I get a bit nervous. So the next step for us is we'll go back to our community and we will speak to people who ordinarily wouldn't participate in any government survey, any local authority consultation, and wouldn't do anything like that. But we will respond to the consultation. We will ask people what their thoughts are on the principles that have already been outlined today. We'll afford them that opportunity to use their knowledge, to use their insight, to use their expertise, to reshape and redesign policies that will have a great impact on their lives. And for them, that people in our community then feel valued, feel empowered and feel enabled, and they will take responsibility for the actions going forward. Thanks for listening to me.
Great. Thanks very much for that, Tracy. And of course to Mark. I know we were all really pleased that Deepak Norfolk and Thrive Teesside were able to participate in the workshops last year and play a part in the proposals that we're launching today. And I'm now really pleased to introduce Ellen Clifford, who is our Commission Chair, and she will be leading the question and answer section. Thanks, Ellen.
Hi, so we've had some questions that have come in on social media, and we're going to be joined hopefully by Catherine Hale and Mike, who are commissioners, who are going to take a question each, and then any questions that are left unanswered that have come in, we will be putting on the website and answering, responding to those in writing. So first question for Catherine, this is from Kirsty. Is the Commission looking at a new system or also looking at measures that would improve the current systems, like changing thresholds and descriptors?
Okay, hi Kirsten, and apologies to everyone. I've had to sort of go horizontal because my brain's not functioning very well tonight, and it helps if I lie back. So yeah, that's a really good question, and so I guess I'll talk separately about PIP first, or personal independence payments. We've got clear proposals within our current proposals to replace personal independence payments entirely, and that's partly because the current system doesn't reflect accurately the true extra costs of living with a disability, but also because the descriptors and the activities in the assessment don't accurately capture the barriers that people face, the extra costs that people face, the needs that people have. Like the range of activities that are measured in the PIP assessment are so narrow that they leave out whole areas of life where we need support, but these areas are not being assessed, and as a result our needs are not being met. So the current proposals are clear that we need a new system that genuinely reflects the extra costs of living with a disability. In terms of the work capability assessment, we had less consensus at this stage of our work on a replacement for ESA. I suppose we concentrated more on broad principles of the income level and the broader rules of social security. So there was a mixture in the responses that we've received already. There were some people who were talking about improving the current assessment system, altering the descriptors and the activities, changing who it is that does the assessments, what kind of evidence is taken into account. So that would count as just like making improvements to the current system. But there was also strong support for the idea of no longer having a work capability assessment or any kind of equivalent, as a way of removing the stigma of claiming ESA and of removing that kind of false binary of fit to work versus not fit to work, when we all know that it's never really that clear cut, and that so many of the barriers to work come from the environment, society, from discrimination from employers. So there was a lot of support for doing away with assessments completely. You would still need to compensate sick and disabled people for the fact that they're likely to be out of work for a longer period than people in short-term unemployment. So people in that situation would need a higher level of benefit than people who are only likely to be unemployed for a short period of time. So one proposal is that people who are out of work for longer periods automatically get a higher rate of benefit without having to go through the kind of degrading fit for work tests that we're seeing at the moment. So that's the next phase of our work. If you have ideas, opinions on that, please do feed in and let us know what they are. We really would like to work with your ideas and take that piece of work forward.
Thanks, Catherine. And just to echo you there, if people want to get involved and have things to say, then please do respond to the consultation. So question now from Mike. So Yasmin says, thinking realistically, wouldn't £50 child benefit be a burden on the government? How do you respond to that, Mike?
It's one of those questions. We've had a lot of difficult choices along the way so far, but the reality is that in most cases, the government is actually able to adjust and accommodate extra demands on finance. So £50, the £50 doesn't sound like an unachievable aim. And it also pulls back some of the hidden costs that that accrue in family life. You know, yeah, you can tell I'm a single man. I'm not a family person.
Thanks, Mike. But I think the point you've made there about government making choices about how it spends.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's always going to be kind of difficult choices. You know, it's difficult to be sort of universally popular, but on the other hand, there's some of the things that are going on at the moment that are not good for a majority, I think.
So as I said before, any of the questions that we haven't managed to get to, we will put on the website and give our responses to those. But as Catherine said, please do send in your ideas. That's what we want to hear, your reactions to the proposals that are in the consultation. Before we hand back, I'm just going to read out a suggestion that has come in from Patrick on Facebook. He says, reintroducing a lower rate for personal independence payment like there was for disability living allowance would make a real difference. So thank you, Patrick. Okay, I'm going to hand back now to the chairs.
Great. Thanks very much for that, Ellen, and to Catherine and Mike, of course, and to anyone who asked questions. I'm now pleased to welcome Debbie and Paula back to do some more poems. Firstly, we'll hear from Debbie.
Thank you. Just a heads up, if anybody's interested in seeing what we do at Survivors Poetry and taking part, you can see our Facebook page, Survivors Poetry Gigs, for all the info, and send us a message and come to our monthly post-lockdown lounge parties on Zoom and perform a poem of your own. They're great to help to overcome isolation, and they're really great fun. Everybody's welcome. My second poem for you tonight is Do Not Resuscitate. So we're at the bottom of the pile. What's new in that? Staring up at the pinch-tight arses of the fat cats. There's nothing left in the food bank for us. Nutters' mouths don't count. And there's certainly no place in the queue for a vaccine. The fewer of you lot, the better. You're a waste of stelazine. How many years of risperidone that never worked? Do you think we're an endless fount? The cruelty of capitalism remains paramount. We shake the magic money tree for businesses, theatres and schools. But for you lot, no mercy, and we'll still insist you're fools. Oh, how we love our warped death count. Not the COVID kind, but the nutters and disabled people we hound. We'll still batter you with impossible forms, untrained assessors on commission, brutal WP assassins running a lurid inquisition at torturous work capability assessments, shifting the goalposts continually, recreating new norms, huge gaps in payments, sanctions, 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 and the ultimate public execution of all your dreams and ambitions. Because essentially, we are the Tory boot boys and we are in play, and you are our delicious, deadly fox hunt. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Debbie. And now to welcome back Paula Peters for one final poem before I wrap up tonight's event.
I thank you, Ellen. And my second piece of poetry is called Lest We Forget. Some of you may have heard this before, and it was written in remembrance of my friend who took her own life after being found fit for work from a work capability assessment, and for many more of my friends and brothers and sisters that we've lost to the work capability assessment. So this is called Lest We Forget. I miss you every single day. The pain, it never goes away. I hear your voice whispering in the trees, the whispering of the leaves saying, talk to me. I remember every smile in the sun, the days of laughter and having fun, the days of seeing you fight terrible pain. Nothing in this life feels the same again. I have to live without you and be so very strong. I wondered what I could have done. How did they get it wrong? The stress and the fear, it tore you apart. I have so much anger within me. Where do I start? I know if you were here right now, here is what you would have said. Put the anger to one side and concentrate on getting justice instead. Get my story out there and get my story told. I am safe from harm now. I will never grow old. I feel you all about me, just beyond my reach. I feel you in the wind in my hair while walking on the beach. Feel your warmth and wonderful spirit in every setting of the sun. Now I am crying once again. I am hurting everyone. Every day without you is tearing at my heart. It is pure hell without you. I hate being apart. I hear you saying to me, you have to go on. Come on, you can do this. You know you are strong. I hate what happened, that you took your life that day. I so wish you had talked to me. We would have found a way. The government have a lot to answer for. Trust me, they do. But I'll make you this promise. I will get justice for you. I will never forget you, and all the others too, or the horrendous hell that you were all put through. You live in my memories and in my heart every day. I just wish there was something to take the pain away. To the thousands of disabled people who have lost their lives, you will live on through us. You will never die. Your stories are so powerful, and your stories will be told. You are not in pain anymore, and you will never be old. To this government, shame on you for this. We who campaign so hard have one lasting wish, to see you face the justice which you so deserve, and we will get the truth out there, and our voices will be heard. Rest in peace, you are never forgotten, lest we forget.
Thanks so much to Debbie and Paula. It's been really powerful to hear your poetry, and we're so glad you could be part of our event tonight. Thanks to everyone for participating, to all our commissioners and speakers, and to everyone who's participated in the live streams as well. Thanks to the more than 1,000 people who took part in the call for solutions that informed the proposals we launched tonight. And a thanks to our BSL interpreters and live captioners captioners for working in this heat. I'll just reiterate the main things we would like you to take away from tonight. Firstly, please look at the consultation form, which lets you say what you think of the Commission's ideas for a better benefits system and add further suggestions. You can get to it by going to our website, www.commissiononsocialsecurity.org, and you'll see the link there. Secondly, this event has given a general overview, but we'd love to do more smaller group discussion Zooms. So if you're interested in that, either as an individual or you'd like something for one of your groups, then please let us know, which you can do by going to our website, www.commissiononsocialsecurity.org, and you'll see the contact us link there. Thank you very much. Bye.